Welcome back to Pen Micro. One of the most important things about microsurgical technique is the ability for you to sense tension through your instruments. And so this exercise is really going to be about dissection and tissue handling, but in a microsurgical capacity. Here we have a normal red grape. We're going to just cut the edges off of the grape. Get that little slice and this little slice. Take these guys away now. And what we're going to do is peel the skin off this grape, trying not to move the grape and trying not to really enter into the actual meat of the grape itself. Now, we're not fixing this grape to anything. And so the important thing here is what we want to do is peel the skin off and use the scissors essentially to give us some tension to keep this from rolling away. All right, now to start this off, we might want to cut a little bit underneath here. Now, importantly, grape skin is delicate, just like the internal mammary vessels. And in order to peel this, you need to not only understand the tension, but if you pull too hard, you're going to tear that skin. So we're just going to get it started with the scissors, but then after, what we need to do is then we're going to pull. And the goal here is to try and do this without getting too much water everywhere, right? Because if I'm getting water everywhere, what I'm doing is I'm crushing the meat. I don't want to do that. And I also don't want to break the skin. There we see him rolling. And the purpose of this, you may wonder, like, well, how is this going to help me in microsurgery? Well, what you're trying to do, and this is the trick in surgery in general, is to be able to sense the appropriate tension you need to put things on to do a dissection. There's a certain amount of tension that you can pull on a vessel before it'll break, before it'll rip. And there's a certain amount of tension you can use your McCabe or dissecting instruments to spread before you'll cause an injury to a vessel. Well, how do you know how much is too much? It takes a lot of practice, but your ability to understand that feedback through your instruments is critical. Now, the other thing is, when you try this, you might find it difficult to keep this grape from rolling away from you. And it is difficult. It takes practice. Using these instruments in a coordinated fashion so this grape is not rolling away from me, and being able to judge the amount of tension I can put on this skin so that I don't create lots of holes and start ripping this grape skin, which is relatively delicate. That's something that takes a little bit of practice. You'll find this is a frustrating experiment. Now, you can see here, this is a perfect example. If I keep pulling, I'm going to get sort of a gap here because part of the skin is still stuck to the flesh here. I'm going to make sure that I don't keep pulling, and I'm going to get this flesh up. And I'll grab right at that area, make sure I don't create a hole. There's a little bit right there. This is a fantastic model for being able to simulate the kinds of moves you're going to need to do. And this is what makes micro such a fundamental skill. The easy part of microsurgery is putting the two vessels together. We spend a lot of time talking about how to do that, but that's actually the relatively easy part. The speed and efficiency in microsurgery comes in the efficiency of dissection, your ability to do that. And that's really what separates a good from a great surgeon, is their ability to understand this tension, create tension for themselves. And at the end of this exercise, you not only have demonstrated excellent skill in terms of being able to use these instruments to dissect something out, you also have a nice neck.